Merry Christmas Eve! Hello everyone, I am Lights Camera Jackson, and welcome to LCJ Live. It's our Christmas Eve show, December 24, 2023. 5 new movies in the weekend box office top 10, maybe 6. We're still trying to figure that out. But 5, I think, in the top 6, which is pretty amazing for the Christmas weekend. A lot of people are going to say, oh, box office was down. Aquaman didn't do as well as the first one. Yes, but lots of people are still going to the movies. Aquaman, number 1, 28.1 million in the 3-day, 40 million estimate for the 4-day. Yes, the 2018 Aquaman opened to 67.9 and total 335. It's not getting there. We know that. But still, not bad, all things considered, for the DC Extended Universe finale. The 16-film franchise that has been going on for 10 years ends today with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. In second is another Warner Brothers movie. It's Wonka with $17.7 million. By the way, I want to show off my Christmas car. Let me get a little close-up of the Christmas car. There it is. Yes, our vehicle, our Christmas mobile from Cars is there. 17.7 million for Wonka. It's up to 75.2. All things considered, that's good. In fact, Wonka, I would say, during the week was kind of printing money, and now it continues to print money and make a lot of money. A lot of families going to that instead of Migration, even though Migration out of the gate, okay. 12.3 million for Migration. It's at 17.1 when you count in the money they're estimating for tomorrow. Now look, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish opened to 12.4 million with its Friday through Sunday. Last year totaled 185.5. So Migration has a long way to go. Could play really well, especially Tuesday through next Monday, December 26th through Jan 1 when kids are off of school. Migration could do really well. So I don't think Illumination and Universal should be concerned right now. 12.3, yeah, it's a little low, but you're waiting for kids to have already had their Christmases, been with the families, and now, hey, week off, let's go see something in theaters. The Wonka, Wonka is at 75.2, and then they're estimating tomorrow, Monday, it's going to make another 8 or 9 million. It'll be at 84 million, passing Blue Beetle and Meg 2. I think going to be number 4 on the Warner Brothers list for the year. It'll pass The Nun 2 and then The Flash, which is 108 million, and it'll be number 2 behind Barbie for the year. Then we'll see how Aquaman, how high that gets. Then we'll see how high The Color Purple gets. For Warner Brothers, the third in the trio for the holidays, The Color Purple, opens everywhere tomorrow. And as far as wide releases go, also Ferrari has some showings today, officially opens tomorrow, and The Boys in the Boat, some showings today, officially opens tomorrow. When you look at Aquaman and that 28.1 and that $40 million 4-day, you look at some of these other DCEU opens, and Blue Beetle opened at 25 million in August, totaled 72.5. This Aquaman's going to make more than 72.5 total. The Flash was 55, totaled 108.1. I think this will get over 108. Shazam 2 in March, 30 million, totaled 57.6. Nobody wanted to go after weekend number 1. Black Adam, 14 months ago, opened to 67 million, which at the time people considered low, total of 168.2, which is considered high now in the DC Extended Universe out of all of these. And then, The Suicide Squad, 26.2, totaled 55.8. Birds of Prey, just before COVID, 33, totaled 84. Shazam made 53, totaled 140. Wonder Woman didn't do a lot. So, this Aquaman, I would say, is right in the middle in terms of the DC Extended Universe recently, in terms of some of the opens. And where it'll go total-wise, I think could be second biggest to Black Adam. We'll just have to see how it does over the long Christmas to New Year's week. Liza Friedman, are you going to bring back the 12 Blu-rays of Christmas? Yeah, I posted a photo the other day. Not bringing it back, but I posted a photo yesterday of throwing it back to 2009 when I started it. Remember DVDs? They were the best buy for the holidays. Get it? Best Buy? Because Best Buy's, for some outrageous reason, getting rid of DVDs. Those were the 12 days. Those were the days when DVDs dominated. I think DVDs still have a purpose and a value and a necessity, especially to movie fans, but people in general, to have a hard copy of something, to have the disc, Instead of searching through streaming services galore or trying to find it online or trying to find a movie on TV, to have the copy is valuable. So I hope DVDs don't fully go away, but not doing 12 days this year, but I appreciate that you were a fan of that, and to everyone who's been a fan of the 12 days, thank you. So then you look at fourth place for the weekend. Aquaman, Wonka, Migration. Next up is Anyone But You. Anyone But You, the rom-com with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, social media superstars, especially Sydney Sweeney. 6.2 million, it's at 8.9 when you count in what it's going to make tomorrow. That is better than most people, including Sony, probably thought it was going to do. The young people wanting to go see it. Now, a lot of people were saying, why don't you save this till Valentine's Day? Well, Sydney Sweeney's got another movie out for Valentine's Day. It's Madam Web, also from Sony. So you couldn't have two of the same. So they decided to put this out for Christmas. And young people are going. I haven't seen it yet. I might see it this coming week. I will let you know if I do. I'm going to take this off. It's getting a little warm. Number 5, Solar Part 1 Ceasefire. $5.5 million. 6.3 when you count in the money from tomorrow. Strong to get into the top 5 and not that far behind The Iron Claw, which is an excellent film with 5.1 million, 7.5 million total when you count the money they're estimating for tomorrow. People are going to this. And the cinema score was, I guess, the highest it's ever been for an A24 movie at an A-. This is a good film. Zac Efron's very good. Holt McElhaney is the dad. Wow, he's great. Maura Tierney. It's a good cast. Lily James in it as well. I don't love everything about it. I think it slows down a little in the second half. There are some aspects of it, but for the most part, powerful. There is a scene towards the end. I'm going to call it a spiritual scene because I don't want to give it away. But there's a spiritual scene towards the end that I think people are going to talk about for a long time. It's going to stay with them for a long time. The interpretation of the situation that happens, I think, is pretty impactful and memorable. Next up is, I think, The Boy and the Heron with 3.2 million, totaling 30 million, and also 3.2 million for The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which officially passes Divergent and La La Land to become the 9th biggest Lionsgate movie of all time. Needs another 12 or 13 million to pass Knives Out. I don't think that's going to happen, but it will be number 9. And the way things were looking off that opening weekend and the buzz going into this Hunger Games movie, that it wasn't going to do nearly what the other ones did. Now look, 154 million-ish is not even what the lowest Hunger Games did, which was 282 of the first 4 films. But it's a prequel. It's a spin-off. You know, Jennifer Lawrence is not in this. And it's been so many years since the last Hunger Games movie, and everybody thought the franchise was done. I think there'll be another installment within 2.5 to 3 years. Probably November. I'd say November of 2026 or sooner, if they can write something quickly. I think you see another Hunger Games in a few years. I really think this movie's doing a lot better than people thought, including Lionsgate. And the 9th biggest of the studio of all time. Hey, that's not bad. Really, not bad at all. Then we have Godzilla Minus One. Godzilla Minus One added 2.7 million this weekend. It has crossed 40 million domestically. And why do I feel like it'll try to make a run at 50? Maybe it will if they do some more expansions. It'll at least try to get to 45. But people love this movie. I really like this movie. People love this movie. And if you asked people to vote, if they said, hey, you get to select the 10 movies for Best Picture of the Year, what are the 10? If you asked, thousands of people, did a survey, I think Godzilla Minus One makes the top 10 for a lot of people. And we'll see if it gets nominated for the Oscar for visual effects and other categories. Shortlist came out the other day for some categories, and the full nominations for the Oscars are still about a month away, January 23rd. Rounding out your top 10 as of now is Poor Things, which had a nationwide expansion, added 2.1 million. It's at 5.1. By the end of the day tomorrow, it might get to 6 million. Needs 6.8 to pass. Next Goal Wins to be the biggest Searchlight movie of the year. Dunkey, we're not quite sure how much money it's made so far this weekend. It made $903,000 as of Thursday, Friday. Could beat Poor Things to be number 10 for the weekend. In select theaters, American Fiction added about 500,000. Memory opened in 2 theaters, did probably close to 75,000-ish. Freud's Last Session, which is very good with Anthony Hopkins, opened in select theaters. All of Us Strangers, which has a very good Claire Foy, also opened in a few theaters, 4 theaters, 132,000, 33,000 per screen average, 188 when you count in the money tomorrow. That'll keep going wide throughout January. This is a movie with a Golden Globe nomination from Andrew Scott and a Best Adapted Screenplay Critics' Choice nomination. I think it could get an Oscar nomination in that screenplay category as well. And I'd like to see Claire Foy get in the supporting actress group, but it's very crowded this year when you have the fantastic Divine Joy Randolph, Jodie Foster, Juliette Binoche, Emily Blunt, Daniel Brooks. I'm missing a couple, but it's a very crowded supporting actress category this year, and I'd like to see Juliette Binoche get in there. I'd like to see some others, Claire Foy. There's one or two others as well. It's a tough group this year. It's a lot of good performances, and we'll just have to see. When you look at that Best Actor group, I want to bring up the Critics' Choice ballot for a second. The Best Actor group in that category, the Critics' Choice to 6 nominees, it's pretty much the 6 we all think it is at this point, and then it'll keep getting narrowed down. It'll just be 5. One of these 6 is getting Oscar snubbed, and if it's anybody but Leonardo DiCaprio, it's going to be a huge snub and a disappointment. Leo's already won. I don't think he deserves a nomination for this. Frankly, he took the spot that Taron Egerton should have had 4 years ago, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for Rocketman. Leo shouldn't have gotten Oscar nominated. It should have been Taron Egerton. But you've got the other 5. It's Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. I don't think Andrew Scott gets an Oscar nomination, though we'll see. But man, if Leo takes one of those 5 spots, one of those other 5 guys is getting snubbed, and it's going to be devastating for that actor, for fans of that actor, and fans of that performance. I am concerned it could possibly be Paul Giamatti. I love him in this movie, The Holdovers, my #1 movie of the year. It could be Jeffrey Wright, which would really be too bad because Jeffrey Wright is great in American Fiction. Bradley Cooper got Oscar snubbed for the director category for A Star is Born 5 years ago. Could he get actor snubbed if people just think of him as the director in this? Maybe. Coleman Domingo is good in Rustin. Cillian Murphy is outstanding in Oppenheimer. It came out so early in the year, though. Will people consider him? Other people will vote for him, so we don't. I don't know. I am concerned. We got to make sure Giamatti gets in there, and I'm concerned about Jeffrey Wright getting snubbed. It's tough. And I love Anthony Hopkins in Freud's Last Session. So we'll see. That's tricky. That's going to get narrowed down to 5. Eric Digliomini, I know the 12 Days is retired. I would love to see what films you received this year. Somehow enjoy the holiday. I didn't get a lot of Blu-rays this year. I'm trying to think if I got any. I got a few swag items for Critics' Choice, which was cool. But as far as actual Blu-rays, I can't think of any off the top of my head at this moment. Paul was great. Got to see American Fiction. Yeah, go see American Fiction. Polo Surf, I love you, it says. Well, happy holidays. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. All right, so what else we got? Zone of Interest added 90,000. It's at 300,000 for A24. Trolls Band Together. Even with Migration, Trolls and Wish still made over close to 3.5 million combined this weekend. 1.9 for Trolls, it's at 93. And Wish added 1.2, it's at 57.5. Wish will probably get to 60 million, which is far lower than Disney hoped. Trolls at 93, needs another 2 million to pass Megan to become the 5th biggest Universal movie of the year, and then we'll see if Migration passes that at some point. But I'm sure DreamWorks and Trolls would love to see it get on that Universal list, but it will not cross 100 million. First Trolls did 154, second Trolls did over 100 million out of the gate in VOD sales. So, little underwhelming there. I want to quickly mention the movies that open tomorrow: The Color Purple, Ferrari, and The Boys in the Boat. The weekend box office for them will be 6 days after they open total. So we'll see how many people want to wait till Friday through Sunday to go see those 3 movies, or people go see them, a couple of them starting today, and then more tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right. Would you ever be interested in adapting your book into a movie? I'd love to donate for something like that. Have a Merry Christmas. Thank you. Talking about My Very Rocky Christmas, available on Amazon and other online book platforms. We will see. We will see if that happens. That would be nice, and I appreciate the shout out. Merry Christmas. Part of the proceeds for My Very Rocky Christmas go to the Nature Conservancy. They're all about their Plant a Billion Trees campaign. AnimationScoop.com has some Q&As I did with the makers of some of the Oscar shortlisted animated shorts. Once Upon a Studio from Disney, 95 Senses with Tim Blake Nelson from the makers of Napoleon Dynamite, and Humo, also called Smoke. I'm screening many of the other animated shorts, interviewing the makers of those soon. Those Q&As will be up either later this week and then into the month of January at animationscoop.com. Finally, on culture.com, cultjer.com, my exclusive ranking of the 35 best movies of 2023. These are all basically the movies I gave B+, A-, and A to throughout the year. The full 35 is there. If you missed my 10 best list, I will just quickly name the 10 best. Number 10 is Priscilla. Number 9 is 2 Tickets to Greece. Number 8 is Suzume. Number 7 is They Cloned Tyrone. Number 6 is Hot Potato, the story of the Wiggles. Number 5 is The Deepest Breath. Number 4 is Society of the Snow. Number 3 is The Taste of Things. Number 2 is Robot Dreams. And number 1 is The Holdovers. That's my 10 best list for 2023. If you want my ranking of the top 35, go to culture.com. Thank you so much for watching this Christmas Eve episode of LCJ Live. I hope you have a good Christmas tomorrow. Safe, happy holidays. When we're back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, it's our New Year's Eve show. New Year's Eve, the final episode of LCJ Live for 2023. We will take a look at how Color Purple Ferrari and The Boys in the Boat are doing. We'll preview Night Swim and some more movies coming out for the first weekend of 2024. And we'll run through maybe some of the box office highlights of 2023 and more. As always, go to lights-camera-jackson.com, Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson. If you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/LightsCameraJackson, hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. LCJ Live is every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. Merry Christmas. Hope Santa brings you some good stuff. And I'll see you for New Year's Eve for LCJ Live. Bye-bye.